Morena, good morning in Maori from Aotearoa, and from where I have been invited to base myself for the foreseeable future, which is a really interesting location where the sweet and salt waters meet on the Waitangi estuary. And for all of you Kiwis here, you'll be familiar with Waitangi, its role in the treaty and everyone else. But for everyone else, the treaty that was signed between Maori and Pākehā that did not hand over the land, but created a peace agreement so that the British colonists could work with the Maori people. And it's really interesting because my little casita, cottage, whare house, is placed right above Honi Heki's former whare. And Honi Heki was the one that would paddle across to Kororaraka, Russell, which was the capital at the time, and cut down the British flag every time it was hoisted. So this is the place I've been stationed. My pillar has been stationed for the next cycle that we're going through on a personal and planetary level. And there is a lot moving in the field. So let us begin today with going through the alignment process and simply see what wishes to emerge. As we are 1 month into the year of the wood snake, and there's a lot of death and birth, well, a lot of death happening right now and less birthing happening. So how do we embrace this and participate consciously in this time of transformation? So for those that are just arriving, you may like to stand up, sound, breathe, and move to support yourself to align fully through physical, mental, and emotional bodies. With all-pervading soul or higher self and monadic galactic self. Activating the Earth Star, 1 foot, half a meter beneath the feet and connecting through the divergent meridians of the planetary body. The Rios de Luz of light, Fuego fire, Rios de Oro of gold, and Rios de Agua of water. And inviting those primordial elemental energies of creation up through our pillars so that they may cleanse, clear, and purify, regenerate, rejuvenate, and recalibrate. All the way up to the soul star, 1 foot, half a meter above the head. And inviting those celestial elemental energies down to mix and mingle with the terrestrial elements. Inviting our ancient future selves into the now. And activating our golden toroidal field. And harmonizing our golden toroidal fields with the golden toroidal field of the planetary body. As we surrender through the core of Source and the heart of Gaia, where the new true Earth architecture emerges. Inhaling, exhaling with sound and softening into that and feeling the support of that new Earth architecture. Where we are supported and all those we meet are supported when we are stable within the frequency and bandwidth of the new Earth architecture. Surrendering through the core of Source in our own heart spaces. and through the core of Source in the heart of the Sun. And in the heart of the great central Sun. In the heart of the Moon. And through the heart of Teia, our ancient moon. As we activate our solar and lunar discs for those that they are active within, harmonizing with the solar and lunar discs of the planetary body. And surrendering through the core of Source in the galactic center, wherever that is located within your own personal system. For many, it is through the pineal gland, our gateway to God, the all-seeing and the all-knowing. Inviting everyone to inhale, exhale with sound as you strengthen and fortify your own unique pillar. Inhaling, exhaling with sound as we strengthen our own pillars in the place on the planet where we stand today, honoring the guardians of this land that we are upon. And inhaling, exhaling with sound as we harmonize into one unified field around and through the planetary body. Honoring all who have joined today and all those who will join us through the replays in the time to come. As I hand you over to Casey.
Thank you, everyone, for stepping into circle today. We will amplify the field together as one unit, opening our hearts connected to the bigger space of all. Feeling the energy flowing through our channels, knowing that we are connected to Gaia, to galactic Gaia, as she steps into circle with us. And feeling connected to her on every level, through the elements, through the plants, the animals, through the water, the fire, the mountains, the volcanoes. Understanding that we are stepping into times of great change, where literally the mountains are moving around us. The tides are changing. And we are stepping back into flow with her. And as we sync up with her, we can feel as one unit. As she breathes, we breathe. As we step forward on our journey, she is stepping forward with us. We are one with her. And recognizing now that we are connected to the higher realms in all ways, also opening up our pillar and our pathways out to those cosmic spaces. Opening up the information and the data that wishes to come through the star mapping that we find, that is connected to each one of us on a soul level. At the farthest outreaches, we have been connected in different lifetimes to different planets, to different stars, to different star systems. And recognizing that our star system is expanding at this time. Just as we are expanding, we have room and space for new to come in. That new pathways are forming, connecting us beyond the reaches where we can imagine. New stargates are opening up, and star portals are beginning to be birthed again. And recognizing at this time that the openings also give way to closings and completion on all levels, individually, collectively, planetarily, cosmically. That we need both, we need balance in all things. And connecting out to the source fields at this time. Understanding that we are stepping outside of human linear time and we're stepping into cosmic time as we are balancing ourselves. Through a new trajectory going all the way out to source, remembering that first initial lifetime that we had. Remembering that fractal of light. That we existed as. And remembering, allowing information from all those earth journeys that we've been carrying with us to complete that no longer need to go forward. There's a closing off of the records at this time, a lightening of the load. And we may be experiencing that through the physical systems. In order to step forward, we must let go, release, create space for the new. Our bodies are wishing to change, to advance, to grow, to lighten. Welcoming into the field at this time the new earth vibration that wishes to come forward, that wishes to be birthed, that wishes to be felt in joy. In love. In the field of prosperity and abundance. That can only be done with 2 feet at a time. You cannot be 1 foot out, 1 foot in. It is a choice. And what does that feel like to step all the way in? Allowing that vibration to soften the field. Welcoming into the field our star families at this time, our galactic counterparts, our future ancient selves that wish to take part in the circle today. And as we are ready to take the next steps in our journey, as a connected circle, as one unified field, we will slowly come back to our human bodies, anchoring our energy into the physical system, staying connected to the field, and allowing whatever information wishes to come through each one of our heart spaces today. Feeling the floor beneath you, your chair underneath you, adding some gentle movement to your body, and when you are ready, opening your eyes and choosing to come all the way in.
Thank you, Casey. And thank you for everyone being here today, because the energies have been quite incredible in my reality and perhaps in many of yours as well. And astrologically, we have a new moon and sun in Pisces in the watery signs. So it's a very emotional time for many. And we've got a big planetary parade happening with also Mars that's just moved out of retrograde and gone direct. And Venus, I think on the 2nd of March, is due to go into retrograde for 40 days and 40 nights, which is naturally a very powerful time of purification, taking us back to our essential nature, being in a deep wash cycle. And we're going to be in that 40 days and 40 nights of Venus in retrograde. Simultaneously, at the same time, we're going through another eclipse, equinox eclipse sandwich. So what we're stepping into really from this moment forward is perhaps one of the most transformative months of this year and also of this decade. So how do we not get tumbled in the tsunami and stranded on a remote island is to really engage consciously on where we are focusing our consciousness, our thoughts, words, and actions, what our body needs in order to come into the next level, both purifying it through diet, exercise, nutrition, possibly fasting. Equinoxes are an optimal time to do water fasts, but also exercise in a way that supports us to have a bamboo body. We want a strong and flexible body so that we may bend with the change and not get washed away in the big waves. And there's certainly been some big waves coming through. Earlier this week. No, actually, 1 week ago today, we did a lot of big work on the Asian continent, particularly with the financial situation and misuse of the planetary monetary system. But also it was a process of lifting the veil of our Asian sisters and brothers. Many of you will notice a lot of Asian people are very non-expressive and non-emotional. And that veil was part of the lifting that needed to happen in order so that they could be freed to awaken to the reality of their essential natures beyond time and space and this dimension. And what was really interesting is my physical body doesn't usually purge, but it was literally purging planetary pieces for a big 3 days through that process. So that was a bit of a surprise that snuck up on me, and yeah, reminding me of the importance of our physical maintenance in order to be able to serve at the level many of us are now serving on. Self-love and self-care needs to go to next level when we go to our next level of service. So on that note, let me pass you over back to Casey for an update on what she has been weaving in the field. It's also an update particularly this month for what is to come.
In my journey this last month, I have been being gifted the opportunity, and it feels like a priming, and new connections being made on a deeper level for me with the volcanoes that are coming forward that wish to be part of the new earth journeys. They're showing up in my meditation time, my dream times. Not all volcanoes, but the ones that are definitely connected to the new chapters going forward, with new codes for the new earth, and specifically the ones that want to be part of the birthing process for the cosmic nurseries that wish to be built for the incoming souls across the planet. Our volcanoes for me are always cosmic connectors. For example, Mount Fuji's been coming in almost nonstop, and he has new codes that he's carrying, new light codes, new earth codes that he wishes to bring forward. And his cosmic connectors go all the way out past Andromeda. What I'm finding with the new galactic star babies that wish to come in is that they're coming from places that don't already have maps connected to them. These star babies need to be guided in a way and connected to the volcanoes and the energetic portals on the earth that will support their systems. So our volcanoes are stepping up in a new way, but there also needs to be a creation process so that star babies can be guided down, like little roadmaps to connect down to the earth. And so some of us are being called into like Gaia midwives or cosmic doulas to help these star little ones that wish to be born to come through and to kind of anchor them down to wherever they can be best supported for their systems. And they're not necessarily anchoring through, what my understanding is, they're not anchoring through my individual system, is that I'm gently guiding them down and supporting them to be connected to the earth itself. And then there needs to be a new patterning that happens among the intimate family because of the support that the new ones are going to be needing, because their systems run in an entirely different way. So that energetic patterning happens with connection to these galactic doulas as well. And what's coming forward is that there are 24 locations that I'm going to be connected to, or to our monad is going to be connected to. And then there's an entirely different monad group who's going to be working on the other side of the earth, doing the same thing. And we're kind of connecting through the earth until our pathways connect, so that there's going to be all these little portals and little cosmic nurseries being built for these new ones to come through. And the volcanoes that I'm working with are connected also. So I'm guessing there's going to be 24. There could be more. I'm open to who wants to come forward in the connection of the volcanoes. But some of the volcanoes also, because of the earth changes, might be moving and shifting. Their physical locations might go away, but their energetics and the codes that they carry might be carried to a new location. And so some might need anchoring. Like, I'm not sure if Fuji's going to stay there physically forever with all the earth changes that are happening. And so there might be like a backup plan for where he wishes to be anchored next, so that this project can come forward.
Thank you for sharing, Casey. It's really interesting. As you're sharing it, I'm looking, and it's like there isn't an exact plan in place on how this is going to will unfold yet. It's going to require communication prior to conception of these souls in order to understand how best to route them or route them into the system through their parent system and into the planetary system. It's almost like what is awaiting us has not ever operated before on the planet. This will be a first, so it still needs to be woven into the fabric, and everyone's present and ready to learn and work out how to do it. So it's really beautiful and wonderful that you're speaking into the earth changes, because it feels like the beginning of this is almost upon us now, and has a lot to do with, for those of you who have been with us on earlier recordings and journeys since the December solstice, when my system was particularly working with unlocking the lockdown of the plates that had been in place for eons in 7 stages. Now, when that 7 stages is complete, it was complete. However, the next stage, or the next cycle of stages has begun since I landed here. In fact, it began yesterday, stage 1, and we'll be going further north for stage 2 early next week. And this feels very, very interconnected with the beginning of our major earth changes that are
Mhm.
about to
And
unfold.
it's beautiful that it's in its creationary stage, right? We're building this, but we have to do it through the frequencies of the new earth. So that
Yeah.
means everybody that's being called forward has to be anchored into that frequency and be willing to be what is coming forward is like drastically changed their reality. They have to be willing to let go completely of the old and create in the new through that space of joy is what I'm finding.
Yeah, I think it's important to understand it's not a mental body concept that we're anchored in the new earth. It's actually a physical, visceral frequency that we need to take our whole bodies into and to become stable in it. And it does mean a radical life change and changing the way we're walking in the world for many of us to do that. And it's worth every piece, every effort that we put in, you know. Although my body had been through a massive purging process just under a week ago, you know, I was having extraordinary dream space guidance and ecstasy in my dream time last night. So it does have its gifts, and it's worth the hard work.
I realized that my physical body was having problems adjusting and changing because I was literally 1 foot in and 1 foot out, right? And that wasn't working for me. And so my system, my physical system has been like laying stricter ground rules, right? For me personally, right now, it's saying no sugar. That's not good for us, not even 1 grain of sugar. Because every time I do, I get wiped out with something like I'm clearing something physically right now, right? So and I'm here for it. Like I'm listening and I'm changing and adjusting and I know it's part of the process. And so I'm grateful if my body's talking to me in that way.
I'm laughing because I love dark chocolate, but there's been zero dark chocolate for like the last 10 days.
Mm-hmm.
But no,
Yeah, our bodies are getting louder and louder and we're taking them with us on this journey. So we have to make them part of the journey, right?
yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely. Thank you so much. Let us open the field for other questions to the field and or contributions to the field, because many of you have been very busy weaving your magic out there also. Denavi.
Hey, thank you. I have a question for the field, which is how to ways to resource ourselves when we're so I when our bodies are asking for more self-discipline. I'm noticing that around my physical health and diet, and also in my relationship life. And my experience is the waves, ascension waves, keep on getting harder and fiercer, and and it's like, I guess I've been asking spirit, please resource me, please show me where there's more resource available to rise to meet the requirements. That's how it feels to me. So I guess I that's what comes alive for me as I hear you.
Thanks, Janavi. The first thing that comes up is morning practice. You know, this is whenever I'm working with anybody, and I don't tend to work with people new on the path, but people who have usually plateaued on the path and are ready to open to their next level of embodiment and service. But personal practice is a non-negotiable when we're doing this work. It's absolutely non-negotiable because we are out so much further and longer at nighttime that we need to fully come back and integrate our etheric body into our physical body in the morning time. So that morning routine of waking up in the morning, having a couple glasses of water, high vibe water, ablutions, evacuating the bowels, doing breath work, and an integrative practice that integrates the physical and energetic field. Now, that might be different things for different people, from walking or swimming or Pilates or yoga, which is what I used for many years. But when I plateaued again, I actually had to bring in some Qigong practice. And that morning practice, you know, from the moment I land into my body in the morning, open my eyes and listen to the birds. I've got a little piwakawaka, little fantail that comes and visits in my window in the morning, until I actually begin work, is like 2 hours of self-care and preparation and having my breakfast and clearing my space in order to begin my work. So it's, as we embody and evolve and connect to more of ourselves, we must slow down in order to maintain our connection, to maintain our harmonic, to maintain our space. But know that the power of what we are capable of then is so much more amplified. And I say that's morning practice before going into service. But then when I finish or take my lunch break, I will often do a short Qigong practice just to make sure that all is clear and it's only me here and I'm on the earth plane in my body, so that I may nourish it, digest. Because in earlier days, when I'm not hungry, I'm not tired, it's because I'm not in my body and I'm disconnected. And we need to maintain that connection and maintain our physical bodies, because if not, we quite simply will blow them out. And I've experienced that as well, and since worked with a lot of people who have blown out their bodies by saying yes to greater service, going this way without going this way, and without an anchor. It's like taking out a kite in a storm. And you don't want to tear the two apart, because I've also worked with people who have done that. They've built this without that. So this is why our deep personal work, our unconscious work, and clearing the root and the base and really landing is absolutely vital. I hope that helped.
Thank you. Valuable reminders, especially appreciating that I do go so far out, and there is a lot to integrate from dream time, and I hadn't fully appreciated that until you named it. So I will be, yes. Is my partner, his system works very differently. So thank you for helping me to really understand this, and so I can own my morning practice space more powerfully.
Yeah, thank you. And yeah, know that our systems are sometimes different than our partners and our friends who we're working with. So we need to honor our own and honor that they need their own space to do things their way as well. And also mentioning digital detox time is vital. You know, I have a digital detox between 9 a.m. and 9 p.m. 9 p.m. and 9 a.m., I should say. And it's vital to have everything shut down and be offline. Walks on the earth at sunset, another gift to our physical bodies and to the earth and to our environment. And also I do a short Qigong practice before I take a bath or a shower in bed at night as well. And what I'll do is I'll pop that in on the YouTube recording. The one that I find most supportive is often the 8 brocades. And I will pop in a YouTube of the 8 brocades for you. Thank you for bringing that into the field. Is there anyone else who has any questions or contributions? John?
Hi, everyone. I just want to share something that's happening in our field at the moment. Waveney and I have always taught a 4-day workshop called Awakening the Illuminated Heart, which was a series of steps that take people into the heart. We'd actually kind of let that go over the last couple of years, partly because of my health challenges. But now that we're moving into this year, which feels really dynamic, and my health is returning, and I'm feeling more energized and excited. It's interesting that out of the field, we're getting a lot of inquiries for people, you know, can we please do this? Can we please do this? And I feel really excited about this. So we're gearing up for this. And at the same time, we have a sister within our school who lives in Sedona and is very connected with Drumbelow, who has sort of brought through a lot of this information. And Drumbelow is talking about the transition of people are noticing that the Merkaba had less relevance, and what they were actually experiencing was this transition from the old one to the new one, because Mother Earth has a light body and a Merkaba, and ours are always the same as hers, because we cannot exist on this planet unless we are in harmony with hers. And Drumbelow is telling us that, and he told us this about 10 years ago. He said that this will change, and the change is happening now. To this new light body, and he has now given us a new what is it? It's a new technique of going into the heart space, the portal within the heart space, and bringing new codes back to the pineal gland, because what he's saying is that these new codes within the pineal gland are going to be activated in the form of creation body, but also it's also going to bring us up onto a kind of new level of telepathic communication from pineal to pineal as well too. And it was really interesting that one of the women that emailed me recently said that she's having that experience at the moment, is that a lot of her communication is coming through telepathically. And another email to do this as well too. So right now, Waveney and I are looking for a venue, and we're going to gear ourselves up again to do the workshop. And I'm pretty excited about this. It feels quite different, and we're kind of in touch with a lot of the teachers within the school from around the world as well too, who are doing their own research into this as well too. And yeah, we're not sure when this is going to happen, but it will probably happen soon anyway. So I'm very looking forward to when we're actually going to be doing this. It's been a few years, but I think this new information that's coming through, I'm finding really interesting as well too. Thank you.
Yeah, that's really exciting. Thank you for sharing that, John, and bringing it in. And it all feels resonant as we were expecting our telepathic skills to come back online in quite some way. And when you when you were speaking about looking for a venue, the first thing that popped up is actually Te Whare, Mini and Walesi's place here on the land. So maybe it's worth walking that with them in 10 days or so when you're up this way, because we did a lot of work up there yesterday, and it has the frequency required for the new Earth architecture.
You know, I thought you might say something like that. So thank you so much. And that feels really, the moment you say that, that feels really good. So I do want to come up and walk that and have a look at that as well too. And lovely to connect with Minnie and Walesi again as well too, and see how they feel. And it's interesting that one of the first heart workshops that was ever held was held by our dear friend Ron Laplace in that beautiful building that they have there as well too. So it would be interesting.
Yeah, I'm getting a full body Koyopa confirmation for that one. Very exciting. There's a reason why the whale tribes are beginning to gather again. Thank you for bringing that into the field. Any other questions or contributions to the field from anyone here? We would love to hear from you.
Hi,
Gail,
Leanne. Can you hear me?
we have you loud and clear.
So I would actually, I'm getting the nudge to share what I awoke with this morning in the early hours, and it brought me out of my dream state. So I just stayed there and had a look at it for a wee while. Long story short, I was shown the rising of the land masses around the world, and I was having a good look at this, and I could see beautiful pale pink and pale blue broken floor tiles. And I had the sense that it was actually Atlantis. We know Lemuria is rising. I hadn't really given much thought to Atlantis, probably because of my lifetime there. But however, what I also felt that brought a huge surge of sadness through me was a darkness. And I thought, well, that makes sense, but I didn't quite understand why at that stage. So it's synchronicity at work. I've been connecting with a beautiful lady, Judith Kussel, over in South Africa, and we connect backwards and forwards. And she spoke, because in New Zealand and probably other parts of the world, there's been lots of whale strandings. And my understanding is that their sonar isn't in alignment with the sonar as the world moves on, everything moves on its axis. But what Judith said was also that there's interference from the dark side. And I thought, well, that makes sense. So I share this just to invite everyone in their meditation to, continue or to up their light and their love and all that's good to number one, our Earth Mother and the waters and all that's within our waters, because it's really affecting our dolphins and our whales. And number two, of course, to send to those whose actions aren't in alignment with divine will. So it was a very, very clear picture, and I thought, okay, thank you for that. So, and thank you so much for the opportunity to share. It's lovely to be with you all today.
Thank you, Gail. That's lovely. And what it brings to the forefront is our journey of embodiment and evolution is we really must master discernment in this dimension and others, and to navigate beyond the astral planes. Not all figures that present as light are as light. You can get shapeshifters dimensionally as well. So in the astral planes, ask questions, seek answers. And as above, so below, even when we start operating at a galactic level, we really must have discernment, because there's a lot of galactics there with agendas, which are not in harmony with the divine plan of this planetary body. So we really must master discernment and be mindful not to have agendas of our own, because when we have agendas, they can be hijacked too and hitchhiked upon. So when we're showing up for service according to divine plan and divine will, in right relationship with our physical bodies and human experiences. Thank you, Gail. Anyone else? Casey.
I just wanted to share a little bit about the Atlantis grids. We have a soul sister right now, Leanne and I do, that is going over to Greece to specifically, she's been called to archive the records of Atlantis over there in that location. So there's a huge putting away, unfolding, decompression of some of the old records that is ready to be lifted off the earth plane at this time. And it also coincides with some of those beautiful whale beings that have been carrying the records themselves from different timelines. So some of their work is to also archive those records and give them back to the earth before their contracts are complete. So on some level, that is what is being done in order for the records, the purity codes to be able to come forward for the new earth locations. Some of these old ones have to be put to rest.
Thank you, Casey. When you said that Valerie's lifting off the Atlantean records, I can see that's also what we did with the Asian continent. We were lifting off old records in that facelift. Really interesting. And yeah, confirmation with the whale codes. So thank you. Maybe Tali is brewing something for us in that little message. Kind while, is there anyone else who has any questions or contributions to the field on today's circle? It's actually lovely to have this check-in time and journey together. Feeling Katarina may have something for us there. Yeah.
Very shortly, yes. Actually, yes. There has been so much the last days, yeah. But one meditation and guidance was it was about the whales, and they said that the whales already hear and sing the new song of Mother Earth. They already have it, and it is already downloaded. Also, I was shown cosmic whales. It is downloaded, but then I was sent like into the ocean, and I saw these whales circling, and I saw this sacred geometry coming up, and they said they already hear and sing the new song of Mother Earth. That was very beautiful. And these codes, they already really are like, we can receive them already. And then there had been one thing that really, it was 2 days ago, that in the valley where I'm here at the moment, I saw, like it was in dream state actually, but it was so clear that the whole earth was shaking. It was like an earthquake, but it was a large area which was quite flat. And after this shaking, like 1 to 2 meters of the surface of the earth started moving out of this valley here, like a river, but it was like part of the earth, and really a big part like of the surface. And I asked, what is that? And then they said it is really freeing parts. Old earth is moved out. Yeah, old things are really moved out to make space and place for the new to come up. It was really interesting. A huge, land masses moving. And the third message that might be interesting was about the dragons. That they said, like, really now these new dragons are coming in. The dragons have another task now. The dragons will be opening the new portals. Some will be shut down, but the new portals will be opened. And the work will be done with many people and with many dragons. Also, star elders, stargates are awaiting you. This is now really coming in the last days and pushing through, like this new work will start now. And yeah, it needs all our powers. Yeah.
Thank you so much for bringing that into the field, because it reminded me I actually didn't sleep at all on Tuesday night, and nor did another sister on this land. And that was the theme of what was Tuesday night here in Aotearoa, and for many others too, Monday night or Tuesday morning. And it was a major, the last of the excavation and the clearing is done, and making space. And I was literally showing like a garden that was cultivated. It was just prepared, nothing planted yet, but ready for the new seeds. was the image I was given at the end of that. But it was literally completely personal and planetary work all night long until I got about an hour dream time, I think, before it was time to get up. And it was exhausting, but also relieving and very spacious, as that was the work that had to be completed before we could begin this next cycle for the earth changes to begin. So that's in harmony and in sync with what you're seeing too. Lovely, thank you.
Thank you.
Anyone else for any questions to the field or contributions? Before we ask if maybe Talia has a song for us today, as the whales are so present in our field. What a beautiful gift. Thank you, Talia. As you were singing the song, I was watching the ancient future being woven into the now. It's not just the old into the new, but it was almost like the ancient future was being woven into the now. Really beautiful. And it reminded me of the work we did here yesterday morning, and how significant this time is as the turning over of time that has been prophesied is upon us. And in the journey, a clock which hasn't moved in over a year started ticking for the turning over of time. So let us be reminded to embrace death as part of this rebirth, and do our housework and homework on what needs to die to make space for the new. Thank you all for journeying with us together today. May we all return fully intact onto the earth plane as I hand you over to Casey for closure.
Thank you, everyone, for stepping into circle. For all of us that were called to show up in person, and for all of us that were called to show up in our heart spaces. Giving gratitude for our journey today, understanding that this is just one step in the right direction as we continue our earth walk together. And feeling supported by one another, that we have soul family here on the earth plane with us. And that we are connected wherever we stand on the earth. That we are connected to the earth. And giving gratitude for being supported by our star families at all times, for our unseen supporters that guide us, direct us, and for our higher levels of self who can have beautiful awareness in every moment, guiding our steps, always in the right direction, leading us towards more expansion, more growth. With so much gratitude in our hearts, we'll step back into our human vessels a little bit more, closing down the fields ever so slightly, that we might be fully anchored in at this time. Feeling balanced in the vibration of the new earth, stabilized, and understanding what that feels like on the cellular level. As we continue to change and continue to grow. With so much gratitude in our hearts, we'll step all the way back into our human selves at this time to be fully anchored into the earth plane. Feeling the ground beneath our feet. Recognizing the place where we stand on the earth is important. And understanding the importance of presence and being fully embodied in that present state. We'll add a little bit of gentle movement to our bodies, feel our feet, feeling our hands, our legs, our arms, breathing into our bodies. And when you're ready, choosing to come all the way back in, opening our eyes at this time.
Thank you, Casey. Thank you, Talia. And thank you to everyone who has gathered and contributed today. And just a reminder that for those that are here, but particularly for those that watch the replay, as we head into this tumultuous turning over of time, if you need support, almost everyone here present in this circle right now are practitioners and facilitators in their own right. So if you need support from anyone in particular, please reach out. We're often very, very good about, we can do this ourselves, we can work it out themselves. But I can tell you, I couldn't have got where I am today And I'm still on that journey without the support of many, many, many very skilled facilitators, practitioners, and body workers that I am eternally grateful for. So take good care and remember to play. And we look forward to seeing you all again on full moon in 2 weeks' time with our first eclipse. Much love, everybody. Aroa nui from Aotearoa.